With cash flow hungry renters and builders offering some of the best incentive in years, 2025 to 2026 might just be your chance to lock in a brand new rental without the headache of old house repairs. I'm Ashley Kehr, and you're listening to Be a Better Landlord or watching on YouTube. If you're joining me, make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube channel at TurboTenant so you can get all the updated videos and notified when they are released. Today, we're going to be talking about buying new builds for rental properties and all of the builder incentives that are offered right now, but what you need to watch out for if you do go this route. So, first of all, what's happening right now and why builders are offering all of these incentives. So, there's an inventory of unsold, newly built houses that keep climbing. Builders need to move this product before they can actually build more and move on to the next phase. So, as a result, the incentives are at a 5-year high. Some of these incentives include a discount on price, mortgage rate buydowns, closing cost assistance, free upgrades, and sometimes they're even offering cash back or reduced down payments. So, for investors, this means that these opportunities to buy brand new properties with lower effective entry costs, which historically has been one of the biggest obstacles for new builds for investors, is how much you need to have to be able to get into one of these deals. So, why is new construction actually attractive as a rental strategy? The first is right now, because of these lower upfront costs with these incentives that builders are offering. The first is the price reduction. So, we're seeing overall that's what's being common is about 5% off. So, 5% discount, especially if you're looking at a $400,000 to $600,000 home, that 5% really adds up. Then we're talking about the closing cost assistance, the rate buy down. So they're actually paying to have your interest rate lower. So if you get a lower rate over the next 30 years, the life of your loan, like that could be a lot of money that you keep in your pocket. Or you can cash flow higher on the property because your mortgage payment is going to be lower every month. So your cash flow will be higher. The rate buy down is really beneficial because we kind of are in a high rate environment right now. And there's a lot of unknowns of what's going to happen with interest rates. And some people are sitting on the fence waiting for interest rates to go down. And if that is you, you could take advantage of this rate buy down that builders are offering. These savings can free up a lot of capital for down payments, rehab, furnishings, if you're going to do a short term rental, a midterm rental, or maybe just upgrades you want to do on your own to the property to make it more specific to your market and what renters are really looking for. Or you can save that money for future deals. The next reason that you may want to get into buying a new build for a rental is the lower maintenance risk in the early years. I'm going to say this right now, and this is solely my opinion. The home warranty doesn't matter. I do not care if a property has a home warranty, or I do not think it's got a better deal because it has a home warranty. I think home warranties are awful. You have to use the home warranty company. They don't care about customer service because they already know you are a customer because you have the home warranty and you're going to use them. So what do they care if it takes forever for them to show up at your properties to make the repair? What do they care if they have to come back 5 to 7 times to actually make the repair because you're paying the warranty and they're not making any extra money off of you or trying to get you as a repeat customer? So I am against home warranties. So I don't care if the property comes with a home warranty. I care that the property was built correctly in the first place and won't need a lot of repairs and maintenance going down the road, hopefully for the next 5, maybe even 10 years. Okay. So, in general, you're buying a new build, you should have less repairs, less capital improvements in those first years. So, this actually gives you a way more accurate look at what your cash flow is going to be on the property because you don't have to estimate a lot of those variable expenses except for, vacancy. You still have to count for that. But that will be another thing we talk about a little bit later on in this video. Then also, new construction meets building codes, hopefully, if you use the correct builder, energy efficient standards, which is great for a tenant, especially if, or even if you are paying the utility costs, that they know that there's energy efficient, features in the property so that their heating and AC bills will not be as expensive if it wasn't. So that's really attractive to renters and potentially can make it easier to rent out. Another thing is new builds appeal to renters, especially in the younger generations. They really value the new layouts, smart home features, energy efficiency, and updated finishes. So, new construction delivers all of that right out of the box without you having to go in and do a full rehab. Also, could mean less turnover and then just less of maintenance headaches compared to older properties that require frequent updates or rehabs. Then we're going to future proof this property with long term value. So, new construction may appreciate more reliably in neighborhoods that are trending up. So, for example, especially if you get in phase one, the first build, oftentimes, not always, but most of the time, by they get to phase three or phase four, those properties are selling more than what the property in phase one did. I once interviewed a rookie investor who got his start by buying in phase one of a property. So he'd put in his down payment to reserve that lot, which sometimes was as little as $1,000. He'd reserve that lot in phase one. He'd go through the build. He'd get his property, say 9 months later. He'd live in the property for 1 year. While he was living in it for 1 year, he would rent out the rooms. But when he moved into that property, he would go ahead and put another deposit down in another builder that was starting in phase one. And he would put his deposit down so that that property would be finished by the time he was done living in his current one for the year standard. And then he would move out, rent out his bedroom in that one, and then do the same thing. And he just repeated this. And he had built up so much equity in each property after doing this for several years just because he was getting in on phase one. So there is that advantage there that you're building appreciation in the property by getting in early on. But make sure you do your market analysis. Make sure you're looking at other developments that the builder has done to make sure that there is that difference in appreciation from each phase, too. Now, this all sounds great, right? You're getting all of these incentives from the builder. You're not going to have a lot of repairs and maintenance, but there are some things that you should watch out for when going the new build way. So, even with these incentives, there can be some catches. And one of those things is that the builder will require you to use their lender. So, they'll do the rate buy down, they'll assist with the closing, but they'll want you to use the lenders that they work with, which could be fine, which could be great. But I highly recommend that you go around and you shop it out with other lenders because maybe it's not as great of a deal because the lender they're having you work with has maybe a higher commitment fee or higher fees up front for closing, and it kind of ends up offsetting the cost. So make sure you're looking at that. Make sure that you're actually getting the best rate with their lender. So compare with other lenders outside of what the builder is actually offering too. Then I want you to compare the new build cost to the cost of a property in your market that needs rehab to get to the new build standards. So make sure that you're not paying a premium for the new build, that if you bought a property that needed rehab, put the rehab into it, is that property going to give you more value, more equity in the long run because you did that rather than going to the new build? If you don't have the experience, if you don't want to deal with rehab or know how to handle that, then maybe even if you are paying more for the new build, then it's worth it for you to actually do that. But with the builder incentives, it actually could be cheaper for you to go in and to buy a property than to go in and buy one that's undervalued and rehab it and get it to better standards. So make sure you are just looking at your market analysis, comparing the 2 options and seeing, like, how good the builder incentives actually make the deal. The next thing is a lot of developments where these homes are built are actually in HOAs. So make sure you're looking at the HOA rules and the laws and make sure that you can actually rent out the property. And if the HOA laws don't say anything about rentals, I would be very, very cautious. A good friend, Avery Caro, who does a lot of short term rentals, she always tells me for short term rental regulation that she is always more likely to go into a market that has very strict short term rental laws than one that has none at all because they already know what their rental laws are. So if you're going into an HOA and they have no rental rules written into there, you're not going to know what's going to happen. At some point, it is going to be brought up as an issue. So it's better to know the known than to know the unknown. Okay. The next thing is the builder incentives have the strings. So inspect everything. Make sure you're going through that, the contractors that they're subbing out to and they're using. Look into that home warranty. Are they using that as an incentive? And how great is it? So make sure you're comparing the quality of the build too. So even if you're getting a big, huge discount and all of these incentives, make sure it's not going to lead to more headaches. You're doing proper inspections on the property when the property is actually getting built. Now we're going to swing back real quick just to the market analysis and really understanding the neighborhood and what your risk is in this property. So, just like if you were going into any market, you're going to want to analyze different criteria, different metrics of the neighborhood. What's the school district? What's the crime? What's the property comparables that you're going to be looking at? And could be hard to find comparables, this being a new build. So see if you can find other developments in the area or just newly renovated homes to try and compare and make sure. Okay, now that we've gone over a list of what the incentives are that are being offered and how this is an opportunity, but also the things to watch out for, I want you to make sure you make this into a checklist of some sort if you're really considering this strategy to make sure that you're checking all of your boxes, you're watching what incentives are available to you and making sure that you do get the best deal, but also making sure there are no catch or there are no gimmicks and you're really getting a quality property delivered to you at the end of your closing. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Ashley with Be a Better Landlord. If you're not already, make sure you are subscribed to at TurboTenant on YouTube and make sure you're following us on your favorite podcast platform.